Good evening, sports fans! Crobat for the win of the Token Minorities here today with GBA D-League Season 4. This is my draft analysis for the season. This, I am proud to announce, is my first bout in the GBA since 2015 when I participated in the ill-fated GBA Season 3. I'm back now. I'm ready to rumble. Now, I want to just address something before I get started. The intro in the beginning is not permanent. It is going to be used this video only. I know it is very long, but I thought it was very hype-filled and would hype this video up a bit, hype this season up a little bit more, in addition to my hype trailer. Also, I'm going to have a really nice intro, a nice commissioned intro. Hopefully for week 1, I think it should be squared away by then. So I will happily unveil that at that time. Also, I wanted to point out one other thing, and that is that I am not going to go in too much detail about the types of sets that I want to run or about the type of synergy that I hope to achieve, because I feel like that would not preserve the integrity of my ideas in what I want to do this season. Now, I don't mean that from a copyright standpoint, or I think someone's going to steal my sets. No. I mean it as in, I don't want people to get an idea of the types of sets that I'll run, so that way I can have the element of surprise for as long as possible with my sets. Now, without further ado, I want to jump into my GBA D-League Season 4 draft. Let's go! Alrighty, for my first pick in the GBA D-League Season 4 draft, we've got Mega Gallade. This is going to be the glue for the team. The Mon that holds things together, offers some good raw power, setup, support roles. It's a very low risk, high reward Mon. Some might say it went too early, but this was a late pick. I was pick number 8 in the draft overall, so it was very late first round. But it was so late in round 1, most of the top tier 1 threats were already gone. So I just went with something that, I knew I needed it for the crux of my draft, and I knew it was still a very high tier Mon. Something that was probably going to go within the first couple rounds anyways. I like Mega Gallade. I'm looking forward to using it for the first time, actually. That's another key point. I've never used it before. Looking forward to doing so. Next up, we've got Weva. Now this is a Mon I have experience using. I like its access to priority, its offenses and speed, its setup potential. They're all attractive to me. I was going to build a strong offensive core to start out, and I think Mega Gallade and Weavile definitely accomplishes this goal. Next up, we've got Tornadus Therian for another tier 1 pick. Now this would technically be my free tier 1 pick, or my free draft pick, I guess you could say, with points. So I like this Mon's offenses and speed as well. It's very similar to Weavile in the speed regard, obviously speed 121 versus 125. It has good offenses on both sides of the spectrum, so it can be special, it can be physical, it can be assault vest, it can be so many different things. It's extremely versatile. Also important to note, this is going to be a Z-move user, because Tornadus Therian has essentially coverage of pretty much every type. Ignoring Hidden Power, of course it can get coverage with anything from Hidden Power, but minus that, it gets coverage for just about every other type. And so I was thinking, when going through this team at the end, I think Tornadus Therian is perfect for Z-moves, and I know how well it worked for me in NPL Season 8. And now, I'm going to have this Mon, and I'm going to be able to use it very well. I never did a wrap-up for my NPL season, and I wish I did. I unfortunately just got too busy, but the one comment I would say is that I thought Tornadus Therian was the MVP of the team, and I'm really glad that I got to use it. I'm getting to use it right now. Alrighty, next up, for 4th overall pick, we're taking a tier 2 Tangrowth.
Santa Christ, we all love Santa Christ. He is Santa and Jesus, goddamn it's Santa Christ.
You are the best, and we love you, Santa Christ. Santa Christ is back from my GBA Season 3 and NPL Season 2 days. Now, this Mon is a defensive behemoth, and no slouch offensively either. Lots of support options, offensive options. It could go mixed, special, even purely physical. It sounds silly, but who knows? It might. Currently, this gives me a dual regenerator core, which I am loving right now. It's so awesome. I'm left with an Ice Beam weakness, though, with those 2 regenerator mons, so you know what? I fixed it. Snap my fingers. Tox Effects is going to be my next Tier 2 pick. Now this is going to be a free Tier 2 pick, but we've got a triple regen core with Tox Effects. I might be saying that wrong. I can never say any. Half the mons I can never say the name of it. But anyway, we've got a really solid core going here, I think. Covers the ice weakness, as I said. This was just too freaking easy here. I have never used this mon, but I have quite a few tricks up my sleeve as to how I want to optimize it. And I don't want to reveal those here, but let's just put it this way. Triple regenerator core is not something to be underestimated. Alright, next up we've got Silve.
Let's get down to business to defeat the Huns.
I really like Silve, the prospect of it. Now, I've never used it, so I can't say it's an amazing mon. I don't know. But I got it next. This is a Tier 4 pick. And you're going to say, why didn't I go for the Tier 3 pick? Well, there were tons of Tier 3 picks that I thought were substitutes of each other, and there were just too many for me to pick at the moment. I wanted to see how the herd got thinned out a little bit. And like I said, with lots of substitutes, it didn't matter as much to me. Whereas this mon, I did not think there was a substitute for. There really isn't. It plays like Mew, and it plays like Arceus. It's a combination of the two. I kind of like both, right? So it's a very jack-of-all-trades type mon. And it will patch any holes in the team that I would be lacking later. Like, let's just say I didn't draft X type. Well, guess what? If I need that type one week, Silve can play that type. And it has an excellent move pool. It has defog, it can go physical or special. It has Parting Shot. Parting Shot's awesome. It's a great move to use. So I'm convinced this is going to be a pretty awesome mon for my team. Yes, it was Tier 4, and yes, I got it in this round rather than like round 10. A couple people said, oh, you could probably get that round 10. I was not convinced I could. I have seen it go in different places, but I think just because of its versatility and its ability to change types, like I remember when I played this thing, I was pretty scared of it because I had no clue what I was going to be going against. But I think it's going to prove to be very vital to this team, and I think that its role in changing types will be very, very important, and it will play the element of surprise every single week. Alright, next up, we've got Jolteon. Here's a Tier 3 pick.
And now for the #1 song in Bikini Bottom.
The GBA Season 1 MVP is back. It's back where it belongs. I'm loving every minute of this pick because it's reminiscent of the old days. Jolteon hasn't changed much, but I certainly have, and my team certainly has, the mons in the metagame certainly have, so absolutely this mon will be important to gain momentum, be a Volt Absorb user, just all this stuff for the team. Next up, for my second Tier 3 pick, we've got Arcanine, the dog, the Doge, whatever you want to call him. He's got Intimidate, he's got Flash Fire, even Justified. I think he's got 3 awesome abilities, some really well-rounded stats, decent speed, extreme speed to help out, just support moves around the board. I really like this mon a lot. I was looking at things like Darmanitan, maybe Entei, but honestly, I think they were both taken anyways. But at the same time, Arcanine, I think, fits the mold of this team a lot better, especially with those abilities and its better capabilities of defensive prowess. Particularly, there's Morning Sun as well. Can't forget that. I think with all of this in mind, and oh, by the way, it still could take a very good offensive role. Absolutely. Even Choice Band, that thing will hit really hard. So this thing cannot be overlooked at all. I really like Arcanine. I am interested in using it. I have not used it in the past. I know I've watched people like Tom use it in the past, but I have never actually used it in draft format. I've used Entei, and I may have used Darm once or twice, maybe, but I definitely have not used Arcanine. I'm looking forward to doing so. Alright, next up for 9th round pick, we've got Messsprit.
We're pixies, and since the 1960s, we raised that clown to be our tool, to beat the fairies so we can rule. We're pixies.
No, it is not Messspirit, because I learned that misspelling during the draft. Don't spell it like Messspirit, kids. Anyway, Messsprit is a pretty interesting mon. Now, yes, it doubles up typing with Mega Gallade, but they really don't share much in the way of weaknesses anyway, so I don't consider that a problem at all. It has really good utility moves, it's got decent offensive moves, it can run a Scarf well, it can run Specs well, it could be defensive, especially defensive. It's another jack of all trades. It can do pretty much anything. It's also got Levitate, Stealth Rock, and so many moves that I really I love. So I think it's a solid mon. That's pretty much all I gotta say. I have a few really neat tricks up my sleeve that I think I would love to use this mon for, and I am not going to discuss them here. Rather, I will let my body of work speak during the season. Alright, and so after this, we're finally getting into Tier 5 picks. My Tier 5 pick is Trampa. Now this seems very odd. Some people said to me, hey, have you ever used Trampa? It's not very good. Well, first of all, remember it's a Tier 5, so I wouldn't expect a Tier 5 pick to be better than Salamence. Yes, of course, Trampa is definitely not better than Salamence. Okay, thank you, commenter. But, jokes aside, for a Tier 5 pick, it gets Defog, it has tons of coverage moves, it has some pretty solid bulk, it's got Roost, it's even got Berserk. I could see this thing putting in some work for sure. I have a couple strategies I might try to employ with it that I want to keep hush-hush, but at the same time, I like the prospect of Berserk and Roost and Defog and some of these moves. I think it could find a very good spot on the team at least a few weeks. I mean, I know Jolt in the KC Giraffes cheese, he actually brought his Durant one time the whole season. Well, you know what? I'm going to make my goal to bring Trampa at least twice this season, so I can beat out Jolt. There we go. Bringing my Tier 5 at least twice, I'm hoping. But that said, I just think its coverage is solid. Its support moves are solid. The only thing it doesn't have going for it is its speed, but I'm sure we could find a way around that pretty easily, and I'm looking forward to figuring that out. Last, but certainly not least, is the final pick of the draft, Steelix, another Tier 5. And you were also going to say to me, why did you pick Steelix after Trampa? Well, everyone already had Steel types and Ground types to this point, so I was like, well, not everyone had a Dragon type. So, I didn't think Trampa was going to go, but there was zero chance anyone was taking Steelix at that point, so decided to flip the order. And that's how history went. Steelix is great. I mean, it's got good physical bulk. It's got decent enough special bulk with its HP stat, especially if you tack on an Assault Vest. It's good enough. It's got decent typing. It has good synergy with the rest of the team. You know, it has some support moves. It is sturdy if I need it. It's got so much in its abilities as an offensive and a defensive mon that I really like, and I'm interested in the prospect of hopefully using them this season. And I've definitely got my dedicated Steel type now, and that's a good thing. So now I won't have to rely on Silvally Steel type. I'm excited for that. Thank goodness, because that was going to be a fear of mine going through this draft. I did not want to bring Silvally Steel every week. I wanted to be able to use many Silvally typings this year, so that way it's as unpredictable as possible. And now, in aggregate, why don't I just read the team out to you in order of draft. We've got Mega Gallade, Weavile, Tornadus Therian, Tangrowth, Tox Effects, Silvally, Jolteon, Arcanine, Messsprit, Trampa, and Steelix. Please let me know what you think about this team in the comments below, but as the intro implied, there ain't no chance in hell we're going down without a fight. Hope you guys will subscribe to the Token Minorities this season, because we will be uploading team builders, matches with sports clips, tickers, post-game speeches, you name it, we're going to have it. We might also do some press conferences as well, like Jolt did. Not sure the extent to which those will happen. My time is going to be pretty tough this summer, but I will certainly make this very interactive, and I want to have a fun time with all of you guys in the comments, so please leave your thoughts. I'm looking forward to getting everything done. I'm going to try to make Mama proud this time. I want to finish what he started. Finish what Mama started. Hashtag finish what Mama started. I can only imagine what would happen if we were able to do that, and I'm excited. Rate, comment, subscribe, guys. Peace out. I look forward to seeing you guys in the Week 1 Team Builder.